Welcome to the next section in the Resumes and CVs lesson. In this video, we will discuss the different components that should be included in your CV. A CV, or curriculum vitae, literally means course of life in Latin. Think of it as your academic biography, a document that tells the complete story of your scholarly journey. Unlike a resume, which presents career highlights, your CV showcases your full academic record and evolves with you throughout your career. While the content stays consistent, you'll organize sections based on what's most relevant for each position you're pursuing. Let's talk about what to include on your CV and how to organize that information. The key principle is to list sections in order of relevance, with education always coming first. For example, if you are applying to a faculty position at a primarily undergrad institution where your job responsibilities will be mainly teaching, you should list your teaching experience immediately after your education. On the other hand, if you are applying to a research-focused faculty position at an R1, you would want to list your research experience and grants and fellowships first. Some people choose to include a professional summary at the top of their CV. This is optional, but can be particularly useful if you want to highlight specific expertise that is relevant to the position you're applying to. Remember, your CV should be authentic to your experience. If you don't have experience in a particular area, simply leave that section out. There's no need to include empty sections. Looking at possible sections, these typically include education, research experience, teaching experience, and mentoring experience. You might also have sections for fundings and fellowships, honors and awards, publications, and presentations. If relevant to your field, you can include clinical experience and licenses. Don't forget about professional memberships and service work. These demonstrate your engagement with your academic community. The beauty of a CV is its flexibility. You can customize these sections to best represent your unique academic journey while maintaining a professional and organized structure. Let's talk about how to present your publications on your CV. This is often considered one of the most important sections, particularly for research-focused positions. First, format your publications as a numbered list. This makes it easy for the search committee to quickly see how many publications you have and to reference specific papers during interviews. Always include the full author list and make sure to highlight your name by either bolding or underlining it. This helps the committee understand your role and spot your contribution across multiple publications. Now, let's address a common question. What about manuscripts that are in preparation? Here's my strong advice. Don't pad your CV. Manuscripts that are actually submitted or even available on preprint servers like bioRxiv can be included in a separate section labeled Submitted Manuscripts or Manuscripts Under Review. However, you should not include papers that are just in preparation. Remember, your CV should only include concrete accomplishments, not works in progress. Let's look at an example of a publication section from a CV. This example comes from the University of California, San Francisco in their Office of Career and Professional Development. Their website has a number of excellent examples of resumes and CVs, and they're even annotated to give you helpful tips. It's a really helpful website, and I recommend you check it out. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. Notice how the author's name, Clement, is consistently bolded throughout the publication list. This makes it easy for search committees to quickly identify their contributions across different papers. Also, pay attention to the formatting consistency. Each publication follows the same style. The consistent formatting makes the section look professional and easy to read. Another important detail is how co-first authorship is clearly indicated. Look at entry number 3. You can see the asterisks and the note contributed equally to this study. This is crucial information that is clearly communicated. Finally, notice how submitted manuscripts are listed in a separate section below the published papers. This organization clearly distinguishes between published work and papers still in the review process. This example effectively demonstrates all the key principles we discussed about organizing your publication section: clear, consistent, and professional. Now let's look at an example of how to format your research experience section. This example comes from a CV template we recommend for graduate students and postdocs here at CU Anschutz. For each position, you'll want to clearly indicate the dates, the position title, the institution, and your mentor or advisor. This provides the essential context for your research experience. Notice how this template includes a few short bullet points describing the research projects. These bullet points are particularly valuable for early career scientists, as they allow you to highlight your specific skills, technical expertise, and key accomplishments from each position. They're also a great place to emphasize research activities that you initiated and problems you solved independently. It's worth noting that this level of detail isn't always necessary for a more senior researcher who has established their own research program. Their publications and grants often speak for themselves. However, for graduate students and postdocs, these bullet points can effectively showcase your growth and achievements across different academic positions. If you opt to include bullet points in your research experience section, focus on what problems you solved and how you solved them. Don't just list techniques. Instead, emphasize your scientific thinking and the impact of your work. And remember to highlight relevant accomplishments like grants received, collaborations you initiated, and papers published. Next, let's look at how to present your teaching experience effectively on your CV. Remember, this section can be particularly important if you're applying for positions with teaching roles. For each teaching position, you want to clearly articulate your responsibilities. What exactly was your role in the classroom? Did you create curriculum from scratch, or were you working from established materials? Did you plan lessons, provide feedback to students, handle grading, or hold office hours? If you use specific teaching techniques like active learning strategies, case studies, or clicker questions, include those details as well. A particularly important detail to note is whether you were the teacher of record for any courses. Being the teacher of record means you had the primary responsibility for the course. You were the instructor officially assigned to teach it, develop the syllabus, and assign grades. This is especially relevant when applying for faculty positions, as it demonstrates your ability to independently manage your own courses. However, and this is important, don't discount teaching experience where you weren't the teacher of record. Include all of your teaching experience, from being a TA during your undergrad years to giving a guest lecture as a graduate student. Every bit of teaching experience is valuable and helps demonstrate your development as an educator. In the example shown here, notice how both guest lecturer and teaching assistant positions are included, with clear descriptions of the responsibilities involved in each role. Remember, the key is to be specific about your role and responsibilities for each teaching position, as this helps search committees understand the depth and breadth of your teaching experience. Let's wrap up by talking about the overall formatting and style of your CV. While the content is crucial, how you present that content matters too. Start with a professional, easy-to-read font like Arial, Calibri, or Times New Roman, either 11 or 12-point size. Remember, your CV needs to be easily readable by search committee members who might be reviewing dozens of applications. When it comes to emphasis, you can use bold or underlined text to highlight key information, but be consistent. If you bold your dates in one section, bold them throughout. If you underline section headers, make sure all section headers are underlined. Consistency in formatting shows attention to detail and makes your CV look polished and professional. Pay attention to the margins and spacing. Your margins should be at least half an inch, and I think smaller makes the page look too crowded. Use white space between the sections to create clear visual breaks that make your CV easier to read. Finally, don't feel like you need to stick to a particular template. There are many different CV formats available, and the choice of style is largely personal preference, as long as you maintain professionalism and consistency. What matters most is that your CV is clear, organized, and easy to read. Let's review the key points about creating an effective CV. Remember that your CV tells your complete academic story. It's a comprehensive record of your scholarly journey. Include all your relevant experience, but organize it strategically based on what's most important for each position. While your CV should be comprehensive, it still needs to be clear and well organized, making it easy for search committees to find the information they need. Maintain consistent professional formatting throughout the document. And finally, think of your CV as a living document that grows with you. Keep it updated as you gain new experiences and achievements.